Hello and welcome to Boomer Podcast. In today's podcast, we're going to be talking about some interesting topics, especially about kya ho raha hai Mumbai Indians mein, what is going to be happening in Mumbai Indians in the future. Are we hearing about truths, about trades which may happen in Mumbai Indians, about players being unhappy, and a lot more? Because when you often come to this podcast, we want to be unfiltered as possible and we want to talk about what exactly is happening. We don't want to be like, okay, too much into analytics and professionalism. Let's be as unfiltered as possible here. I have Jaren with me. Jaren, welcome on the podcast because today's episode is something very interesting, right? And everybody wants to know what's exactly happening in Mumbai Indians because every team wants a piece of Mumbai Indians at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, Mumbai Indians is always a talking point in the Indian Premier League. I mean, you don't, win six. I mean, not six. Sorry, that's what they expect this year. But win five IPLs without being the talking point of the country, and also the fact that they are owned by one of the richest Indians in the country. We'd have to say that there's always going to be something to talk about MI, and it's just an Indian thing to do.
Absolutely. I think sometimes I really wonder what is exactly issues with the trade and transfers. But this could be the most controversial trade transfer deals, right? We're talking about Hardik Pandya. Now we have to talk about it. Number one, how did you see this deal come off? For me personally, I felt it's a futuristic move, but the way in which it was played out was so wrong because it sent out all wrong message, not just to the players, but to fans, but to the ecosystem at large, saying that now if you have money power and if you can bully teams, now you can buy the favorite players of that team or you can buy the strongest player of that particular team. So that is something which this trade really set for IPL for years to come.
Yeah, it was a very football-like thing, isn't it? Bigger clubs. I mean, so far, I think till last year, or maybe the one day before this trade was announced or events of this had come out, you always felt like there's no big club or big franchise in the Indian Premier League, at least in terms of financials, in terms of purchasing power and so as to speak. But we all knew that trading is going to kind of rekindle the love for the green in players, kind of rekindle the love for glory, because before this players couldn't just leave on their own accord.
Yeah.
Now it has definitely set out a few things. If you can offshore enough cash and enough silverware, maybe players might be tempted to shift bases, and I think this is the first year. Expect this to become the trend from now on.
Absolutely. Hardik Pandya and Mumbai Indians, how did you see that? Because for when you talk about footballing terms, it's more like homecoming for a player. And I really felt this was literally homecoming for a player, but it was not perceived like a homecoming. That's what I felt. If Hardik Pandya was moving to any other franchise, for example, if he was moving to Chennai Super Kings, I would have said, okay, this is slightly weird. But he's come back to the franchise which has made him, right? So you reckon at some stage the perception could have been slightly better because this could have been played out a lot better as to how and rather than how it was received, because a lot of people felt like, okay, this is ditching and this is traitor, he's such a traitor to leave Gujarat. But what has happened is come back to the team which has really made him, he's really come back home.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely come back home after talking enough about the owners and the team and the management, and bitterly leaving the home. It's more like the story of the prodigal son, where he's gone and complained about his family, so as to say, and then when the family is ready to give him some more money, he's back. I mean, that's pretty much what I
Absolutely.
can explain about this. And I think you at least, I have to let the captain know that we are making a trade. But when the captain was sleeping, you replaced him. Obviously, his fans are going to be upset. And he's the one guy who's brought five titles to you when you had no titles and only legends in your team.
I feel that, but the most important thing is the way in which they removed Rohit Sharma, right? जिस तरीके से रोहित शर्मा को हटाया गया कैप्टनसी से और the way in which how the entire thing was played out. मेरे को लगता है कि कभी ना कभी this is going to come back and hurt them, right? I really feel it's not really gone the right way because this is Rohit Sharma. It is not an ordinary cricketer of Mumbai Indians. He is the face of Mumbai Indians for the last 1 decade, 5 championships under his belt. I know you're looking at a future, but was this the right season to remove him? And was this the right season to have all this drama played out? Now it looks like not just Rohit Sharma's captaincy removal has not just affected him, but the team at large. जिस तरीके से सूर्य कुमार यादव ने स्टेटस डाला हुआ है, सूर्य कुमार यादव की बीवी ने डाली हुई है, और उसके बाद जो हम सुनने में आ रहा है कि बुमराह और सूर्य कुमार यादव ने मेल्स भी किया है मुंबई इंडियंस बोर्ड को कि मेरे को खेलना नहीं है इस कैप्टन के नीचे. आई थिंक देयर समथिंग रियली रॉन्ग एट दिस पॉइंट, राइट?
हाँ मतलब अब पूरे का पूरा परिवार, वो कहते हैं ना, मुंबई इंडियंस बोलते हैं ना अपने आप को वन फैमिली. अब परिवार में जब दरार आ रहा है तो एकदम क्या कहते हैं वो हम साथ साथ है वाले मूवी प्ले आउट हो रहा है प्रॉपर. अभी इट्स ऑलमोस्ट लाइक बुमराह इज acting like a 16-year-old girl on Instagram where they're putting up stories, then deleting it, and just the right amount of time for media houses to get the screenshot. He's giving them the opportunity, and they're trying everything. They are at this point in time pissed off college students who are upset at the new rule in the college. They're sending out mails, they're putting it on internet, but nothing seems to be working for now because it's 100% that Hardik Pandya is announced. It's not like they're going to be replaced. My only issue with this is, अगर आप किसी नए बंदे को लेके आ रहे हो, कम से कम पुराने बंदे को बताओ तो सही कि अपना पोजीशन बदल रहा है. अगर आज मुझे और तुझे निकाल लिया और बिना बताए हम लोग लाइव स्ट्रीम करने लगे और बगल में कोई और लाइव स्ट्रीम करने लगा, तो हमें भी तो अच्छा नहीं लगेगा ना.
एक्चुअली यस, मैं तो जो भी मेरे को पढ़ने में आया कि रोहित शर्मा को बताया भी नहीं था कि रोहित शर्मा को कैप्टन से हटाए जाएंगे. जब तक वर्ल्ड कप चल रहा था सब कुछ ठीक था. रोहित शर्मा को बोला गया था कि हार्दिक पांड्या आएंगे मुंबई इंडियंस में. पर वर्ल्ड कप के बाद जो डिसीजन में आया था मुंबई इंडियंस की मैनेजमेंट, दैट्स व्हेयर आई रियली फेल्ट दिस कुड हैव बीन स्लाइटली प्लेड आउट डिफरेंट बिकॉज़ रोहित शर्मा वाज टोल्ड अबाउट कैप्टनसी चेंज after the auction thing was done, right? What I'm talking about, the trade window was done. By that time, Rohit Sharma couldn't have moved anywhere. Now, GT approached Mumbai Indians. Not just that, there were other teams who were interested to get Rohit Sharma. But then by then, the thing was over. You were done and dusted. You had no option other than going for going in and staying with Mumbai Indians. Now, they knew once the trade window is closed, it will only open after auction. By then, nobody will have any purse to buy Rohit Sharma because he's a 16 crore worth player. That is very, very bad of Mumbai Indians to do. You should have told Rohit Sharma during the trade window that, see, Rohit, you're not the captain. And they knew all of this, and they did this just to keep Rohit Sharma in the team. That is such a bad business trick.
And it came at the worst possible time. Rohit Sharma just had the biggest heartache of his career, where he lost the World Cup. Genuinely wanted it more than anyone else in the team, I felt. He gave his heart and soul, and just to be broken down, the whole country was supporting him. ऐसा था कि जब रोहित शर्मा के साथ सब खड़े थे, तब तुम ही रोहित शर्मा के खिलाफ हो गए, तो फिर तुम्हारे खिलाफ लोग होंगे या नहीं होंगे. अब जो लोग रोहित शर्मा की कैप्टनसी पे डाउट कर रहे थे, वो लोग रोहित शर्मा के साथ थे. शायद पूरी दुनिया सिवाय ऑस्ट्रेलिया के रोहित शर्मा के साथ खड़ी हुई थी. I mean, Nasir Hussain has this very good monologue during the commentary where he goes out to say that there will be headlines about Virat Kohli, there will be headlines about Mohammad Shami, Bumrah, but there should be. There's one guy who's given his most for the team was Rohit Sharma, and then probably the most greatest acceptance of his captaincy all around the world. And at the right point in time, Mumbai Indians drop him for a Hardik Pandya who's been really, probably was being told a lot for being injured at a particular point in time. So you picked the absolute worst guy against the most loved guy at that particular point in time.
Yeah. No, we can say, these guys all are professionals. जो हम सुनने में आ रहे कि सूर्य कुमार यादव और बुमराह ने मेल शूट किया मुंबई इंडियंस बोर्ड को. How far do you think it's true? Even if it's true, do you think that's going to affect their performance this season? Because now Mumbai Indians have got one of the best teams, right? If you look on the paper, they are one of the best teams out there in the IPL for the season, at least on the paper. Now, if you look at this team, it's a beautiful team. You can say they're a championship winning team on the paper. But whatever is being played outside it, can this really affect or can this really trigger trades for the next season? And not just that, can this really affect their performances on the field for this season?
हाँ मतलब देखो, आप दो मैसेजेस भेज रहे हो. एक तो प्लेयर्स ये सोचेंगे कि अब मैं कल परफॉर्म नहीं किया तो मुझे निकाल देंगे ये लोग, या फिर अब I mean, for instance, yeah, you're talking about Surya Kumar Yadav, you're talking about Bumrah. Look at the youngsters there, yeah, a Kumar Kartikeya, a Nehel Vadera. All these lads will be.
all these lads हाथ में समायरे का टैटू है. अभी क्या ना अगस्त्या का टैटू भी करवाना पड़ेगा क्या?
हाँ मतलब अब वो कितना भी टैटू करे, वो यही सोचेगा ना कि अब रोहित शर्मा एक साल वर्ल्ड कप में नहीं परफॉर्म किया, उसको कैप्टेंसी से निकाल दिया, तो
हाँ
फिर मुझे तो ये लोग एक सीजन ना खेलने के लिए टीम से निकाल लेंगे, फिर शायद मुझे जीवा का टैटू बनाना पड़ जाए। अब ये थॉट भी आएगा उनके दिमाग में। समझ रहे हो? I mean, you're getting my point. Yeah, you're not rewarding loyalty. Surya Kumar Yadav, Bumrah have given their all for this franchise. Granted that this franchise has given them at that stage, they've given their blood, sweat, and tears for this franchise, and both the players were probably the next options for captaincy. But now you've brought out an outsider who probably not even an outsider. I mean, he was one of these guys. He was part of the gang. But then he went out, he dissed the gang, and he won an IPL. And then he says that it's okay losing to CSK. And now he's come as the captain of MI. It's almost as if, I mean, imagine if Messi did this in Barcelona. अगर कल कोई मेसी बोल दे कि रियल मैड्रिड से हारने में मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है और सर्जियो रामोस मेरा फेवरेट कप्तान है, तो कैसा लगेगा? कैसा लगेगा? बार्सिलोना में तो राइट्स बन जाएंगे। कम से
हाँ,
कम ये
नॉट जस्ट दैट
आईपीएल है।
नो।
मैं एक चीज तो बता दूं, मैं
हम्म।
एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूं एबल कि मुंबई इंडियंस वानखेड़े में पहले मैच में कुछ ना कुछ तो होगा क्राउड के साइड से।
हाँ, ये बात तो सही है क्योंकि जिस तरीके से वानखेड़े का क्राउड रहा है सालों से, सचिन तेंदुलकर को बू किया हुआ है क्राउड, विराट कोहली को बू किया हुआ है क्राउड। दिस क्राउड डजंट रियली केयर, दे आर वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड विद देयर अप्रोच
This crowd is
एंड
also the
दे
same
वेरी
crowd
लाउड,
who
दे वेरी
was
वोकल।
chanting yeah, I mean, this was the same crowd that chanted ₹5 ki Pepsi, Hamari Babi. You know how it goes. And
या
this crowd is
एग्जैक्टली।
unfiltered.
या
और ये लोग छोड़ेंगे नहीं, ये छोड़ेंगे नहीं। मैं बोल रहा हूँ,
एब्सोल्युटली।
देखो हो सकता है कि 5-6 मैच के बाद शायद हार्दिक पांड्या दिल जीत ले लोगों के, बट पहले
ये
मैच में,
एक बात तो
पहला
मैं
होम मैच मैं
एक बात
सिर्फ
बोलना
क्राउड के
पड़ेगा।
लिए देखूंगा।
जो ऑक्शन रहा है उसके बाद जो सेंटिमेंट्स आ रहे हैं लोगों से, काफ़ी अलग आ रहे हैं। ठीक है, जैसे भी 1 मिलियन
हाँ,
फॉलोवर्स तो गँवा चुका है
हाँ।
मुंबई इंडियंस। जैसे कि रोहित शर्मा से कैप्टेंसी हटाने के बाद जैसे जिस तरीके से मुंबई इंडियंस को बॉट फॉलोवर्स खरीदना पड़ा, काफ़ी काफ़ी फ़नी था मेरे लिए क्योंकि मैं कभी भी मैंने सोचा नहीं था कि मुंबई इंडियंस जैसा फ्रैंचाइज़ बॉट्स को खरीदेगा फॉलो करने के लिए। ये सब छोड़, एक तरफ ये सब रखते हैं। और जिस तरीके से मुंबई इंडियंस ऑक्शन में किया है, फैन्स को तो होप्स बढ़ गया है, फैन्स से होप्स बढ़ गया है, बिल्कुल होप्स बढ़ गया है क्योंकि इन लोग कभी सोचा नहीं था जेरल कोविच, मधुशंकर, बुमराह एक साथ खेलेगा। जो भी कहे हम, मुंबई
हम्म।
इंडियंस जो लॉयल फैन बेसेस है, उन लोग सचिन तेंदुलकर को सपोर्ट किया है। जब रोहित शर्मा को सपोर्ट किया है, पोलार्ड को सपोर्ट किया है, हर प्लेयर को सपोर्ट किया है। ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ रोहित शर्मा का फैन बेस नहीं है, ये मुंबई इंडियंस का एक फैन बेस है। और पिछले 15-16 साल से यही लोग टीम्स जब ये पहले सीज़न में अच्छा नहीं किया था, दूसरे सीज़न में अच्छा नहीं किया, तीसरे सीज़न अच्छा किया था, उस वक़्त तक रहा है। इन लोगों को 5 साल लगा पहले ट्रॉफी जीतने में और जब रोहित शर्मा आया उस वक़्त सपोर्ट मिला रोहित शर्मा को। मैं यही कहना चाहता हूँ कि दिस इज़ नॉट अ फैन बेस based on Rohit Sharma. This is a fan base of a larger ecosystem, and I think they will not, leave away their franchise just because of what has happened. I think they'll be backing their franchise. फिर जो भी है टीम एनवायरनमेंट के हिसाब से रहेगा. I think. What do you think about Mark Boucher coaching them? I think they need a strong coach who can galvanize the team because this is where someone like a Mark Boucher doesn't really give me the credentials that he can bring this team together.
नहीं, मुझे तो ये लग रहा है एबल कि आई मीन यू स्पोक अबाउट हाउ दे बॉट बॉट्स, दे आल्सो ट्रीटेड देयर प्लेयर्स लाइक बॉट्स, प्लेयर्स hoping that the players won't have any ill feelings when a player who probably came from an outside to become a captain, they treat their players like bots. Forget buying followers out there, but just going back to what you said, देखो इस टीम में ना, इस पूरे सेटअप में ना, दो लोगों को बहुत ज्यादा रिस्पेक्ट है। एक तो है महिला जयवर्धने और एक तो है जहीर खान, क्योंकि ये दोनों मुंबई इंडियंस के पीक पे कोचेस थे इस टीम के। और अभी जो प्लेयर्स खड़े हुए हैं, चाहे वो रोहित हो, बुमराह हो, सूर्य कुमार यादव हो, सारे के सारे प्लेयर्स, पोलार्ड, अब एक और प्लेयर यहाँ पे मैं बोलूंगा पोलार्ड, जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होगा इस चीज में, क्योंकि पोलार्ड एक वो बंदा है जो इनके साथ खेला भी है, तो एक तरीके से इनका एक इनके सेम लेवल पे मुझे अभी भी नहीं लगता कि ये प्लेयर्स, एटलीस्ट जिनका मैंने नाम लिया है, जो शायद गुस्सा में है, उनको शायद पोलार्ड को वो कोच से ज्यादा अपने टीममेट ही देखेंगे हमेशा के लिए, क्योंकि पोलार्ड के साथ वो इतना खेले हैं। तो ये जो तीन लोग हैं, ये मुझे लगता है सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। और मैं एक चीज तो पक्का बोल सकता हूँ, जो अभी हो रहे होंगे डिस्कशंस बैकग्राउंड में, वो ये तीनों प्लेयर लीड कर रहे होंगे। आई थिंक मार्क बाउचर विल बी देयर, बट दीज आर द गाइज विल बी लीडिंग इट, एंड दैट्स वेयर probably Mark Boucher will take a back seat. And that's also not a good thing because you want the coach who's going to be with them for 24 into 7 throughout the IPL to be the ones to galvanize. And that's been the one issue I felt ever since Maila Jayawardene and Zahir Khan have left to take the bigger responsibility to Mumbai Indians. Just feel like this team has lost that little bit of panache.
Absolutely. And that's about from us for this podcast. Thank you for joining. If you really did enjoy this video, do not forget to share, subscribe, and like. And also do support us so that we can keep bringing you all of this content and some interesting insights and some fun discussion all throughout. We'll be back very soon. Take care and see you all soon. And if you really did enjoy this podcast, do comment down below as well about what you think and what we can improve. Take care. See you all soon. Bye bye.